Welcome to the Skee Locker. Of course, I'm DJ Skee, right here on Skee TV. Summer is almost over, which is very disappointing for me, but the one solace to look at is that football season is upon us, which means it's Madden time. We're going to dive in depth with Madden 13, showcase the game to you, give you my personal opinion after playing it, let you know if it's worth copping, and we also got a special Skee Locker integration. We have Madden, EA, Nike, exclusive kicks, both the Megatron Calvin Johnson edition, we're going to showcase up close and personal, and the Jerry Rice GOAT editions right here. Skee TV exclusive. Let's go. Skee TV. Okay, so let's dive right into the game. There's three major improvements that are kind of the highlights of Madden 13 and the reason for upgrading should you feel choice to. First up is the Infiniti Physics engine, which basically integrates, it's a whole new physics engine that makes every tackle and collision different. It integrates the weights of the different players, how fast they're going at the time, and makes for a lot more realistic tackles and gives you a lot more variety in what you're going to see. The next difference is the whole new quarterback throwing system. Before in other games, obviously different quarterbacks were rated differently and would perform kind of by that rating, but it was more just a point system as opposed to which you could actually really see, feel, and recognize. This year you can actually lead passers. There's 20 different types of dropbacks, from shovel passes to various ways and various trajectories you can use to actually get your receiver the ball. There's also points where it'll say the receiver whether they're looking at the ball or not. Lots of cool things. So lots of things has been improving upon in the passing game, which makes it a lot more realistic. For example, obviously I'm a Vikings fan and my arch nemesis are the Green Bay Packers, so my first game had to be against the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers is just a beast. He leads the receiver perfectly, he hits the right pass. Whereas Christian Ponder, second-year quarterback, hasn't proved himself, makes a lot of gambles. When he gambles, didn't turn out right. So the reality of real life, unfortunately for me as a Vikings fan, is actually carried over very well in the passing from this year's Madden. You'll definitely notice an improvement. The quarterbacks look a lot more accurate how they're throwing. You can tell it's Peyton back there when you're playing with the Broncos. You can tell Drew Brees. You can even see Tebow. So you can really feel and notice the difference within the quarterback system. Now the third major change I want to talk about this year is the sound. The presentation has obviously been improved, but the sound has kind of been lacking, which is a shame for Madden games because it's based on John Madden as a commentator at the time. Obviously Madden's a football legend, but when Madden football games came out, it was when he was a commentator, and since he's taken a backseat and hasn't been appearing in the game now as a commentator for years, there'd be like awkward pauses and silences. This year, they've totally redone it. CBS, you have Jim Nantz, Phil Simms. You can actually see digital caricatures of them. So the sound's good. The commentary's good. Obviously, you know, I haven't been playing this game for 2 months, so I'm sure when you play any game 3,000 hours, anything is going to get stale just because there's not that much content to record. But so far, everything seems really good, really refreshing. The presentation is definitely improved. There's a lot more like different camera tricks and angles. A lot of things that you're not really going to notice because I just tend to speed through the game and just want to get to the next play, but the presentation is definitely improved. Also in terms of the looks, it actually uses like HDR type lighting. When it comes to the actual imaging and uniforms, big deal Nike made this year, speaking of Nike, of actually making all the NFL uniforms. Well, they're all represented in this game, as well as all the throwbacks. One cool thing too is that not only did they mimic all the exact uniforms that you're going to see on the field, but the throwback uniforms of some of the stars of yesteryear. When you play as a classic player, you're going to see them actually wearing the same type of helmets and the same uniforms that they wore, so they're not going to be wearing the latest technology and latest gear necessarily, which is kind of cool because you'll see them in their element. Now, with the gameplay, in addition to kind of, you know, the new dropbacks, you'll have different quarterback pocket avoidance moves. So if you see, you know, if they're breaking up your play action, you can get out of it fast. One annoying thing in pass Madden when you're doing a play action, if the other team smells it out and jumps the line, you're getting killed even when you see it coming. This year you can actually break out of it faster. Also on defense, the defender and quarterback can't just swat the ball blindly because you see it coming. They actually have to be turned around and look at it. So there's a lot of little improvements that's cool. When I go back to last year's Madden review, I was real excited when I got it, and a lot of people kind of came at me like, oh man, you're just, you know, saying it because you're a Madden head. At first it was a lot of fun, but the replay value kind of died off after I did my review and played it for a little while. And you know, anytime you get a new game, you're going to be going crazy on it. But I really feel like the engine and everything this year with Madden 13 is going to give me a lot more to look forward to. And I've been playing it a lot more already than I played 12, and I definitely think it's a much needed step up than Madden 12. And it's kind of tough right now too, because where systems are, they've kind of already harnessed the power of this generation of systems. So this is, to me, is going to be the real last iteration of, you know, great achievements and improvements on Madden, because the rumors are next year that we're going to be getting the Xbox 720 and PlayStation 4. So I think EA and all these different companies are now going to be shifting towards making the next generation system. So now would be a good time to buy, because I'm just predicting. I don't know anything, and probably wouldn't be happy if I said this, but if I had to predict, I'd say this year would be the marketable improvement, because next year they'll probably be working on the next systems, and hopefully we get those systems next year so we can play it there. So if you're interested in copying, I'd say this is probably the year to do it, especially it's going to be a great football year. There's lots of hype around everything, lots of fun things to do. In terms of this game, the way it just integrates with fantasy football, there's a lot of different depth modes you can have in your career. You can actually pick up careers of different coaches and watch your legacy build and grow with them, and so many things. You're going to be playing this game for hours and hours and months, and it's going to take up so much of your time. It's Madden. What more could you want? Similar graphics, similar gameplay, everything just improved. One big thing that I have noticed, the receiving in Madden has kind of fallen off over the past few years. Well, this year there's over 430 new receiving animations and moves. So when you're Calvin Johnson, you're actually going to be making real jump, spectacular moves, as opposed to, you know, the receiving in Madden hasn't been there recently to me, so you'll definitely notice that. There's also a bunch of new formations, different styles and stuff. The real football heads are really going to notice everything that you kind of see in the field is really right here in this game. It's a lot more realistic, everything from the system, so this year's version is a lot more realistic. Another new feature in this year's Madden is the new Kinect integration, and instead of actually jumping around and doing the motions that you'd expect with a Kinect controller, you actually use your voice to call out audibles, signal different plays, and do a bunch of other cool things. It's a good concept and feature, and is going to be something great, I think, in the future as we see the evolution of where sports are going to go with new technologies like Kinect and with things like that. It's a cool novelty in this game, and something, you know, if you have a Kinect and you use it, you'll enjoy. Not game changing, but just another cool little addition to this year's iteration. Now, as we go to the negatives, one thing that immediately stood out to me was the crowd was just kind of lackluster. With all the improvements in presentation and everything else, I was hoping the crowd would be a little more authentic, but it almost seems to, you know, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, it almost seems like it has been more realistic in the past. This year's kind of lackluster. Not a huge deal, it doesn't affect the gameplay, but we're harping on every little thing, so that would be one thing. Again, it's not going to be a revolutionary different game from other Maddens, because, again, there's only so much you can do with the system power, and I think they've really pushed the limits with this generation of console systems. Look, it's Madden. You get what you get. You already know what it is. It's tried and true. For some people, you know, if you're not a huge football fan, you don't care about having the latest rosters, the latest jerseys and stuff, you're fine with the old Madden games. You don't need to go drop $60 just to pick up this new one. But if you're a true football head, if you spend a lot of time playing Madden, if you have to have the latest, then of course you have to have Madden 13. Now, in addition to the game right here in this review, we're actually going to give you a Skee Locker bonus. If you don't know what Skee Locker is, it's our own show on Skee TV. It goes inside my Skee Locker, which is my 1,000 pairs of shoes. I literally have like 4 bedrooms full of them. It's my vice. What can I say? Gotta have kicks. So go back and look through the old ones. But what we have today is something very special. The Nike Lunar TR1 EA editions, and there actually is 2 of these versions. Pictures of these just leaked online, and we're the first to actually show you original pairs of these in person. Now, let's start with my favorite color of the 2 colorways. This is the Calvin Johnson Megatron version. So what you basically get is a Nike Lunar TR1 shoe. I love the Lunar technology in Nike. Super comfortable, great shoe. The colorway on this is the Detroit Lions, obviously, after Calvin Johnson. And you can kind of see the gray with the little speckle dots, Detroit Lion blue. Really a good looking shoe, very comfortable. But the cool thing about this shoe, on the insoles, you have the cover art from Calvin Johnson himself. You have the EA Sports on the tongue. One cool thing, the pictures that EA released doesn't show you. On the inside of the tongue, on each shoe there's a different design. So on this one you actually get the Transformers Megatron logo for Calvin Johnson. The back says 81, obviously, to mimic Calvin's number. And the front says CJ. Overall, a super cool looking shoe. If you want to know where you can buy these, you cannot buy them, but we're going to have a contest here soon on Skee TV, so stay tuned to this. We might actually be giving some of these away. In fact, look in the description if you want more info on that. Promo only pairs for friends and family, so unfortunately, if you're a Lions fan, so many people hit me on these when I posted a picture on my Instagram. Follow at DJ Skee, but great pair of shoes, and they obviously have, you know, the current ones since Calvin Johnson's on the cover, as you can see, but EA and Nike actually made a Jerry Rice GOAT Greatest of All Time edition. So it's the same shoe, obviously in 49ers colorway. By the way, the 49ers are real as hell in Madden this year, just with the receiving core, with the defense, everything else. Play as the 49ers if you want to win. But on a separate note, the EA Sports insole on this, the gold little matching trim, it says GOAT on the tip as well as on the back. EA Sports on the tongue, and on the back of the tongue, instead of the Transformers Megatron logo, what you get is the 80 with the Jerry Rice GOAT. There's literally a GOAT on it for greatest of all time, but you see the GOAT, the animal. So cool pair of shoes, super comfortable. Again, neither of these shoes are going to be released. The only way you can get them is to win them right here on Skee TV. Check the description below this. You know how we do. So, all that being said, what more could you want? We gave you the Skee Locker, we gave you the review. I'm going to go back and play this all week long, all month long. Hopefully I can get my radio and all my other work done with this. But in conclusion, Madden 13, a great game. Big step up, something that, you know, look, if you're not a huge football fan, you don't have to have the latest. You can probably go without. But if you're a football fan, if you play a lot of Madden, you need to get this version. It's a lot more realistic. The passing and receiving, it's such a big part of the game, and to see it so improved is great. And by the way, the sound is so much better with the new commentary. Looks and stuff still look the same. This is probably going to be the last great Madden in terms of jump from what Madden is on this generation of consoles before the new ones come out. So, if you're debating getting Madden, get it now. It's football season. Go Vikings. We out here, Skee TV.